Hello, beauties. How are you doing today? It is becoming fall in the Pacific Northwest. I'm like, oh my gosh, how are you guys? What's the weather like where you are? I am going to quickly pin this in our Facebook group, Macro Tracking and Weightlifting for Women. Make sure you're there. If you're not, it's macro tracking and sign, macro tracking and weightlifting for women. So I'm going to quickly pin this to the top of our group and then I will get going. Beautiful. I'm very excited to chat with you ladies today. There's a lot of really good questions, and so I have them written down, and so I'm just going to go one by one. I'll say your first name just to keep the confidentiality, but so you know I'm answering your question. Okay, great. So Miss Sabrina. So she said, she's basically saying, does anyone have an easy curl bar? I want to use it primarily for hip thrust. Is this the best thing to do? Absolutely not. I would love to know, why do you want to use an easy curl bar for a hip thrust? Ladies, do you know what an easy curl bar is used for? I'd love to hear in the chat if you know why would you use the easy curl bar? What's the intent of an easy curl bar? And we would never use it for hip thrust or squat or deadlift. I guess there'd be an argument for the deadlift. But let me know. I'd love to know if you know. I'll give you just a second. I know there's just a couple of you beauties on. Hello. So an easy curl bar, what is that? An easy curl bar is typically like this, right? So they have the diagonal. So when you're doing a bicep curl on an easy curl bar, you're adding more of your forearm, right? So instead of a straight bar where you're more bicep, you're curving your hands. And so you're using more of your forearm. An easy curl bar does not belong on a hip thrust. That makes no sense. And it's not going to be as comfortable on your hips by any means. That would probably like dig into your body. It creates a smaller point of impact. I would not recommend that. Same with the tricep push down. It depends like where you're moving your hands, where it can bring in more forearm. Do your best to avoid shiny object syndrome, right? The amazing results, the amazing transformation, really truly accomplishing your dream level of health, fitness, physique is done in the boring work. Not the shiny things or changing things or going from one thing to another. It's in just day to day, doing the boring work, hitting your macros, tracking the right macros, learning lifestyle tools, lifting weights in a way that shapes your body over time. It's a guarantee. 10 out of 10, you'll achieve it. But if you keep jumping from one thing to another with shiny object syndrome, you'll always be chasing it. So just a word if you needed to hear that today, anybody. Okay, beautiful. So I'm going to check my time so I know where to tag you ladies. So these questions are coming from people making posts in the group. We will do this every week for you guys, and then we'll pinpoint, okay, I started to answer your question here, and then we'll connect it to your post so you can have the live answer instead of me just typing away at my computer, okay? In hope that it brings you more value. Okay, Miss Shireen R, I'll go like that. So she said, I work at a grocery store. I'm up and down on my knees all day long. I'm noticing that weightlifting is causing some pain in my knees. Any suggestions on exercises that aren't too straining on the knees for legs? Three things really that 10 out of 10 must take place here. One, you need to rehab your knees for sure, like strengthening all the little stabilizer muscles in your knees, because although some machines, for example, are less impact on your knees, it's stabilizing for you. So it's not strengthening your stabilizer muscles. So long-term, that actually can do a disservice to you. So number one, get some rehab around all those little muscles of your knees, okay? Like banded work. There's a lot of different banded things that you can do for that. The second thing is check your form. If your knees are hurting, honestly, like 9 out of 10 times, it's form. We see it all day, right? Clients send us videos of form. They say, my knees hurt. We're like, send a video. We fix the form. Their knees don't hurt anymore. So it's really just form. It's learning. Lifting weights is so technical, right? Depending where you are in your fitness journey. So just really hone in on form. Drop your weight, film yourself, and watch it back. See if you can see any form issues, that type of thing. The third thing is, now, actually, I say this possibly, but the third thing is, I say this delicately too. Do you have excess weight on your body? If you do, the third vital thing would be to track the right macros long-term to get some of the stress and pressure and weight off your knees. But for sure, rehab and make sure proper form without a doubt. Beautiful question. Okay, 502. All right, so we have JJM. And ladies, if you have questions that you'd like for me to answer right now, please pop them in the chat. We're here to serve you. We're here to help you. We just want to give you really high quality information so you can move forward with sustainable health and fitness to feel amazing in your skin, amazing in your body, live with longevity, have max amount of energy throughout the day, strong bones, ligaments, tendons, joints, right? So we're always speaking with that intent to just help you live a long, healthy, happy life in a body that you love. Okay. And that you know how to master your nutrition, right? You know how to eat for your body and your life in a way that makes you feel good. Right. So JJ, now you're at 540. You asked the question, I tore my rotator cuff and have been, sorry, ladies. Oh my gosh. It has been a day. Fall hit very quickly. Forgive me. I tore my rotator cuff and haven't been able to do upper body for a month now. I'm still doing legs, machine only. Okay. I can understand that probably because you can't hold the weight, right? And abs, mostly standing ab workouts. I'm walking 5 miles on upper body days and counting calories, trying to stay in a deficit. Any other advice so I don't lose all the gains I had? Rehab it right now. Right now, every single day, rehab your shoulders. Same thing. There's a lot of different band exercises. We rehab clients every day, almost every program. Shoulders, low back, hips, and knees. It's so vital to stay healthy. Don't just let it sit and wait for it to heal. You must rehab it, okay? Because we want you to be super strong, not then having to like baby that side forever, right? It must be rehabbed in due time when it's ready to be rehabbed. So I hope you're already doing that. That's the first thing I would say. The second thing is I love that you are saying, okay, here's a challenge. How can I overcome it? What can I do well during this time? And I applaud you for that. That's solution-based thinking. That's amazing. And action takers always win, like I say. And you are an action taker. So heck yeah. So what I would personally do, if your rotator cuff is ready to rehab, I would do the rehab exercises for like 10 to 15 minutes, depending how long is for you, right? Everyone's different. Then go do your walk. The other thing I would honestly do, granted, I don't know a lot about you, right? Because you're not a client. So I'm going to share with you what I would do, but there's always more information, right? That we would need and that type of thing. But I recently had a client who broke her wrist and we did a few different things, but even just pushing on one side. So this arm isn't even moving. So I'm doing a bench press, right? Pushing on one side and thinking of the other side as you're strengthening the one side. There are research studies done that show strength gains and less loss, even though it's not even moving. It's insane, but just working that other side, the healthy side, the non-injured side, and thinking about the other side, there's so much connection that can take place there. So what I would do is don't stop training your other side. Train it like normal, probably with lighter weight because you don't want to like aggravate it. You know what I mean? But still do your normal lifting sessions as much as you can, but just unilaterally. So just on your one side, your upper body. And then, so actually too, what we did with lower body, because for you, you're totally taking out lower body except for machines, right? What we did is I said, hold it in one side, but let's just do like 1 week and then we'll reassess because we didn't want to create imbalances and like obliques or, you know, anything like that. And so I did tell her to do, just hold the weight in one side. We're going to push this for a little bit while we're kind of getting the go ahead from the doctor to say, okay, she can use light weight now. So don't just count yourself out because one area is unable to do the things, right? You still have a whole other side of your body that's super healthy. So just something to consider. But again, not super long term because we don't want to create imbalances, right? Even with the upper body, we don't want to create imbalances. Of course, we can get them out, but it's a fine line. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Let me know if you have questions on that. Okay, great. So where are we at? 9:25. So Miss Alessandra B. She said, newbie here, 61 years old, 5'3", 148 pounds, and I'd like to lose 25 pounds. My macros are 128 protein, 47 fat, 117 carb, 1,400 calories. She's like, that's so many carbs and calories. And it's funny. And it might be to what you're used to. And it's just like learning the process of why do we have more carb? Why do we have a certain amount of protein? What are those macronutrients or macros, right? It's macronutrient. What are those macronutrients doing for our body? And for you, love, so Alessandra, let me pull out my calculator, because in reality, especially for weightlifting women, the healthy range for carbohydrates is 2 to 8 grams of carb per kilogram body mass per day. Okay. So 148 divided by 2.2. So you're 67.27 kilos times 2 would be the minimum carbohydrate that you should shoot for. 135, girlfriend, and you're at 117. That's extremely low. That's extremely low. But I understand 1,400 calories is also low, but you may need to start there, and that's totally fine, right? We have ladies on 1,400 calories, and I mean, you're petite, depending on your activity. So that part could be totally fine. Over time, we add more food to your nutrition plan, so you learn how to eat more food and still shed fat, right? Healthier metabolism, that type of thing. It sounds like that's what you would need to do, is essentially track really consistently, go through the reverse diet process, and so you can bring a lot more health to your metabolism, so you can eat higher calorie, higher carb. Fat looks awesome. Let me look at your protein really quick. 148 divided by 2.2. Yeah, your protein's on point. Don't change it. Yeah, nice. So track that, see what results you're getting, and then go from there. Because if and when you're ready for an increase, 10 out of 10, I would recommend increase your carbs. Like, do 100 calories only in carb and start there. There's other variables in place, but just reading your post, that's what I would say. Okay, great. Next we have, you guys, these are awesome questions. Thanks for sending these in. I hope the responses are super helpful. And if you have additional questions that come from whatever I say, or just anything you want to talk about, just let us know. You can send me a message. That's the fastest way for me to reply, is if you send me a direct message. But we're here to help, like I said. So I love the questions, and I really hope that this is helping give you some clarity and direction. Okay, so I'm going to pop right into these. So if you're here on the live, I'll absolutely prioritize your questions. So I will go here. I can't see your name, but I'm so grateful that you're sharing. Thank you. So you said, question, does it matter what kind of food I'm eating? Oh, I love this question. If I continue to hit my macros, example, protein shake versus grilled chicken, or will my body look better only eating real whole foods? This is a wonderful question. Thank you so much for asking this question. Food quality is extremely important, extremely important. There's a lot of vitamins and minerals in higher food quality. Vitamins and minerals are called micronutrients, right? So we have macros, macronutrients, and we have micronutrients, vitamins and minerals. So no calories, whereas the macronutrients have calories: protein, carb, fat, and alcohol. There's 4. So you can have a shake for sure. You can have the chicken and the shake. This is my staple once per day, sometimes twice when I'm not planned well, but at least once per day, okay? But the rest of my foods are like salads, lean protein, vegetables, avocado, nut butter, dates, fruit, perfect bars, sometimes like dried mango, or like little granola balls that I buy my kid, but it's like I have a ton of carbs, so it's fine, So I would say it kind of goes back to the 80-20 rule, right? 80% of your daily macros as really healthy, high quality food: lean protein, produce, so fruit and veggies, healthy fats, complex carbs. That's what I would really aim for 80%. Some of you who are eating like 250 to 300 grams of carb per day, your complex versus simple carb, it's like, sure, okay, have some more simple carb in there, because it's like, going well over 25 grams of fiber can really constipate you. And so if you have too many complex carbs in one day, the digestion tract may not be very happy, right? Your bowels may not be very happy. So it's kind of a fine line. And then the 20% can be more like a shake is fine, or ice cream, or if you want to go out to eat, or, just something like that, just the less quality foods. So even like going to a restaurant, some of those condiments, right? They might not be the best. It might be like mayonnaise and just, maybe low quality ingredients, right? That would be in the 20%. Is that making sense? We really want to choose just as natural whole foods as humanly possible. Shopping the perimeter of your grocery store, right? It's an age-old rule, and it's just a fabulous rule. So I hope that helps. Really quick, actually, for those of you who are maybe a little bit newer to nutrition, what's a complex carb versus simple carb? It's the level of fiber, essentially, that it has, okay? So a good rule of thumb to think about is it's a 4 to 5, but I'm going to say 4, okay? So it's a 4 to 1 carb to fiber ratio. So if the food item has 20 grams of carb and 5 grams of fiber, right? So a 4 to 1 ratio, consider that a complex carbohydrate. If it has 20 grams of carb and like 1 gram of fiber, that's a simple carbohydrate. Okay. Sorry, you guys. I'm always messing with my hair. It is what it is. My eyelashes like catch it all the time. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's just a beautiful question. Thanks for asking that. Did that make sense? Any questions that you have off of that? Now, one thing I want to add too, especially for you ladies who are really busy, sometimes what I'll do, often actually, almost every week, is so I shop at New Seasons. I'm in the Pacific Northwest. It's a healthier grocery store. And in the like pre-made section or the deli section, excuse me, they have like spicy Korean tofu. They have corn and bean quinoa salad, stuff like that. I consider that high quality whole foods, and I'll definitely grab that because I don't have to cook it or prep it or do anything, and it's really nutritious foods, right? Quinoa, corn, beans, arugula. Sure, there's probably like a vinaigrette or something in there. So I'll look it up on MyFitnessPal, or I'll just track, an extra tablespoon of something. But that's a really great way to get healthier whole foods, but not have to do so much cooking if you don't want to do so much cooking. Beautiful. Yes, my pleasure. Thank you for asking that. Okay, great. So now let's go to, Miss Emily. This is another super fantastic question. Emily R., she says, I just want to make sure. It might be a dumb question. There's no dumb questions. It's better to just ask and double check than assume. And then it's like, am I really assuming that correctly? It's like, just take that load off your plate, let it out, and just get the answer. So she said, when we track our meals and calorie count, my app gives me back calories for my workouts. Is this accurate for total daily calories, or should I ignore the deduction? If you are using the Queens of Iron macro calculator, do not track your calories, exercise, or steps in MyFitnessPal. Turn them off, because we've already accommodated that for you in the calculator. 9 times out of 10, I would say turn that off. Like, unless, there are few and far between reasons why you would track that, but for all of you guys, especially if you're doing this on your own, turn that off. It will pull you out of a deficit so fast, and then you're going to be frustrated, like, why am I not seeing the results I want? But it could just be that you've just been not eating in a deficit, but you think you are, and it's this whole mess. So just turn it off. Don't even track it at all. If you're losing too fast on your macros, great. We get to increase food rather than not losing, everything be slow. You know what I mean? It's like, let's get results while we fine tune, instead of not get results and like just not sure if you're even doing it right. I hope that makes sense. Okay, great. So I am going to pronounce this lovely's name as best as I possibly can. And I apologize now if I totally mess it up. Sulema C. She says, help please. I've been working out since April 2022. I do heavy lifting. I work on all areas of my glutes and my legs between 2 to 3 times per week. I am not seeing growth. You're not seeing growth, or you're not seeing tone. If you're not seeing growth, does that mean you're tracking measurements? That's my first question. I'm going to assume you're tracking measurements and they are not growing. Oh, there's so much depth to this question. So you said, I know it's mainly because I'm not consuming enough protein. I do not eat chicken, beef, or fish. My protein source is from beans, yogurt, soy, and shakes. I reach between 90 to 105 grams, and I need to be at 155. What's your height and weight? Do you really need to be at 155? I would check that, because if you need to be at 155, my guess, here, let's see. If you need to be at 155, you're probably close to 200 pounds. Is that right? Let me know. So you said, or other says, high protein. Additional notes, I do cardio after lifting. I get plenty of sleep and drink my water. What am I doing wrong? Okay, so a few things. A, how much volume are you putting on your glutes? Do you track how much volume is on your glutes? If you don't, that is the first problem, right? What if you're only doing like 10 sets of glutes per week, you're not going to see any growth. You're going to see maintenance, right? Same with your legs. You said glutes and legs. Yeah. So how much volume is being put on your glutes and how much volume is being put on your legs? Try to separate as much as possible. For growth, you really want to be doing minimum of 10, but up to 24 sets per week. We change our clients' workouts every 4 to 6 weeks. They get new lifting programs, right? Because we always want them to be constantly changing their body, constantly seeing results, and it stays exciting, right? That type of thing. We want them to be really strong, that type of thing, variety. And so what I do is the primary focus, I do between 16 and 24 sets. You may not be able to primarily focus on hamstring and, let's say, upper glute the same phase. That's okay. How are your workouts in a month period programmed? And how are your workouts programmed in a 6-month period? If you just have no idea, that's the first problem, right? Is not having a clear or specific program design to hit your goals, right? So that's the first thing. The plan isn't right. The next thing I would ask is, if you have a lot of body fat and you're growing your glutes, your hip measurement will still drop because there's fat around it. So that could be, especially with how much protein you're telling me that you need, you have the body fat to lose. And so it's just the fat needs to come off, but you should still see the growth. I'm going to show you guys a quick picture. And this is one of our current clients, and I want to show you her glute growth. Let me find her really quick, because this is, I think she is a year in, and she came in with basically no glutes. Now, like most of us women, sorry, let me find this picture, so bear with me as I'm multitasking. But like most of us women, the legs come in last, right? The fat there is the last to go. And so what I've seen from women who are lean and pretty much at their goal weight, they just are still wanting to build and shape their legs. What happens is the glute measurement goes up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. It's still growing and then it drops and then it grows and then it drops, right? Something like that, because there's still a little bit of fat there, but they're also growing, right? So that is really common if you're super close to your goal. So let me download this page really quick, and then I'll share my screen and I'll show you. This is just to show you some glute growth that can happen. This is a 12-month period. Doing pictures is great, and measurements definitely. And I can actually pull up her measurements too and share with you. Hello, why isn't it sharing? Just a moment, ladies, technology. That is the weirdest thing. Oh, the browser can't access my screen. Okay, ladies, one second. If I can't share it, I can, oh, there it is. I can just post it. There we go. Okay, that's insane glute growth, right? So in the first picture, there wasn't really any glutes there. It was fat, right? As you can see through the, through her shorts. And I'm so grateful she allows me to send that. She's the most stunning woman, just incredible, incredible woman. And she works really hard. She works out at home. She has a barbell at home, and she works really hard. So her hips, you guys, so when I say hips, her glutes, listen to this. Her glutes started at 103. They're currently at 93.5. How insane is that? So she's dropped 10 centimeters. Let me go like this. She's dropped 10 centimeters off her hips, but look at her massive glute growth. How is that? Her legs, right? We're getting some fat off her legs. We're getting the fat off her glutes. So she's still dropping, but we have rounded those babies out. Isn't that nuts? I love this picture. Like, that is a plump, plump glute. And that was after 12 months. So it's like, how much have you been training, or how consistent are you with your training? She's extremely consistent in her macros. She was just eating like 2,300 calories. She wants to maintain 139 to 140. So I'm like, sweet, let's drop down a couple more. And then, so I think we're at 1975 calories, and then we're going to bump her back up. So guess how old she is, you guys? She's about to have her 50th birthday. I'm like, she is just an amazing woman. She works very hard. Okay, great. So was that cool to see? I hope that was cool for you guys to see. I hope that kind of helped visualize what's possible. And it's just, for her, we weren't just focusing on glutes. We were also building and shaping her whole body, right? So, but again, we primarily put max amount of volume on legs and glutes because they're the last thing for almost every woman, right? So we train them so much because we want you to have amazing lower body, not just an amazing upper body. Okay, cool. Let me take a quick drink, ladies. Okay. Michelle, thank you for granting StreamYard permission so I can see your name. I really appreciate you. So you said, can you help? When I'm doing classes or weight training days, my legs get so sore and burning very quick. I struggle to do a full set. Love, I'm going to be extremely honest with you, okay? I hope that's okay. I only speak out of immense love and respect in every single thing I say. I'm not joking, okay? But I'm also very blunt, and I want to tell you the truth and just so you have the full truth, okay? So you said, also my hips get sore. Was thinking I need to do some stretching and exercise specifically for your hips. What do you mean? Like your glutes or your hip flexors or what part of your hips? You say you're 48, yeah, 5'6", 11 stone. Yeah, sweet. 11 stone 2, like TOO, or what is the 2? I just want to make sure. Okay. For this one, if they're burning very quickly, it's just needing to get stronger and more fit. That's really what it is, because it's just fitness levels. That's what I would believe it as, or believe it to be based on what you're sharing. So if you're doing it with weight, you need to drop your weight, right? If you're doing it body weight, just keep going, just keep practicing, just keep lifting, keep doing the things, and you'll get stronger. For sure, you'll get stronger. Foam rolling can really help mobility, yoga, stretching, without a doubt. Drinking enough water, getting enough vitamins and minerals, right? Getting electrolytes, those things can really help as well. But if they're just burning so fast, they're getting so sore, it's fitness levels, and you may be lifting too heavy of weight. That's how I would guess. I hope that helps, love. Okay, cool. Okay, great. So let's go to Andrea G, and we are at 2702. She said, I had 3 C-sections. The last one was 9 years ago. I have a C-section as well, so I feel you. Only one, but I feel you. She said, every time I do hip thrusts with a barbell, my scar gets really red and irritated. The barbell is covered with a thick pad, plus more pad. I would question where you have it, because it should definitely be lower than your C-section. It shouldn't be sitting on your C-section. That being said, every woman's different. Yours might be extremely low. Is the bar like below your hip bones? Like they're kind of like sitting below that initial notch towards your thigh, or is it higher? Because let's try to position the bar right where you're hinging, and it should be off of that. It should be off of that. If it's not, maybe hip thrust isn't for you, and that's okay. There's lots of other exercises you can do. Brett Contreras posted a recent study about, or oh my gosh, you guys, my words today. He either conducted it or shared it. And I think he conducted it, but I can't say for sure. Where he said, the squat versus the hip thrust pattern. He had been preaching for years and years and years that the hip thrust is far superior. Well, now he's saying, actually, they're really similar. Isn't that amazing, ladies? That Brett Contreras, like, I respect that man immensely. I love his stuff. I follow his stuff. I have Glute Lab. Like, I think he's phenomenal. He's really helped me towards the beginning of my training, just know how to develop glutes more, right? So I love the man. And guess what? He still has to stay up in the industry, just like we all do, because things change. Here's the problem a lot of you ladies are having is you're listening to things from 5 to 10 years ago, and you're stuck in that way. But it's like fitness and nutrition advances every year, every month. It's advancing so fast, which is why at Queens of Iron, we really focus on staying in the research, because it's like what we used to know might not even be true anymore, right? It's wild. So make sure you're following current research, not just like what some random influencer says from 10 years ago. It's wild, right? You're putting in the time. Let's do the right thing. Oh, it breaks my heart when people are spinning their wheels, right? That sucks. So anyway, I'm like, what were we just talking about? So, oh yeah. I'm like, change the exercise. I get really passionate about that topic and staying up with the research. Yeah, just change the exercise. You can do like a cable pull through. That one's great. You can do a good morning, right? You can do RDLs. You can do squats. Like there are other ways. You could even do, oh, love, you could do a single leg hip thrust, possibly with a plate on your thigh. I don't love the plate, but to keep it off your scar, potentially, depending on your scar, you could do a landmine single leg hip thrust. So you're still getting the movement pattern, but not with a heavy barbell. You could also do like a 90-degree back extension, a 45-degree back extension, a single leg 45-degree back extension. You could even do like a landmine glute bridge, a banded plated glute bridge, right? There's so many things you can do. If the hip thrust is just bugging you, ditch it. Don't worry about it. Okay, beautiful ladies. Let me go through a couple more. Okay, so we're at 35. Okay, Miss Teresa L. She said, I posted back in June about, let's see. I think, actually, I'm going to skip that one. It's about PT and all that kind of stuff. Okay. Great, great, great. I'm going to go through this one actually. Okay, so this was anonymous and she said, I'm 49 years old, female, of course, and I just had a body comp ultrasound done. So what percentage of fat do you have? What percentage of muscle do you have? And I need to shed 26 pounds of fat. I hated seeing this, but I'm glad I had it done. Yeah, awareness can be painful, but it's the first step to change. So proud of you for doing that. It's not easy. I had my RMR, so a resting metabolic rate or a basal metabolic rate. So basically the amount of calories your body burns just living. If you did nothing all day long, your basal metabolic rate is how many calories you need to consume to live life. For those of you eating under 1,200 calories per day, did you know you're eating less than you need for your body to survive? Because most women's BMR is higher than 1,200 calories. So keep that in mind. Again, I say it with love, but I say it very honestly and bluntly. Okay, so she said, I had my BMR done and it was 1,700 calories. May I ask, are you over 250 pounds? If so, okay, totally can see that. If you're in the 100s, I would love to chat with you and ask where you got it done and potentially see if you want to do a retest because that's a very high BMR. Totally normal, right? For certain weights, for sure. Okay, so my gym is super progressive and wants me to complete blood work to get a full picture of hormones. If anyone has this done at my age with a similar amount of excess fat, I'd love to hear your story. Yeah, so that's beautiful. So if you guys want to share a story, I mean, that's awesome. Here's personally what I would say. Focus on the basics. Lift weights in a way that supports your goals. Get on the right macros for your goals so you can start losing about a pound per week. And in 26 weeks, bam, have it off, right? You'll feel so much better. The hormone panel, it's like, that's great, but you must take control of lifestyle factors and lifestyle habits, or you'll always run into the same problem for the rest of your life, right? That's why at Queens of Iron, we are so focused on lifestyle coaching because we want to help you accomplish this for the rest of your life. One time, once and for all, let's just be done with it. So you never have to worry about it again. It comes down to lifestyle, right? So we teach the lifestyle while she's getting the results so she can start feeling better, practicing the habits. And then by the time she's done, it's like, oh, this is just who I am now. It's like, exactly. So always, always make sure you have your foundations in place: lifting, nutrition, lifestyle. Okay. Great, 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 great. Let's go through. Okay. I'm going to say, guys, this will be the last one. Okay. So let's see, 33, 40. Unless there's any live. If you want me to answer any live, please let me know. I'd love to. Okay. So Miss Rebecca R, she says, I'm going back to training tomorrow after a 3-week break. Before this, I was training consistently for 2 years, and I realized how much regular training keeps me physically and mentally strong. So true. So true. Can I expect to feel like I'm dying for a couple of weeks, like when I just started, or does strengthening and endurance come back pretty quickly? Yeah, you'll probably feel like you're dying for like the first week. The second week gets a little better. The third week is typically normal. I believe it takes about 2 to 3 weeks to come right back, especially just after a 3-week break. That first week is brutal. Yeah, beautiful. Cool. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, ladies, any other questions before I hop off for today? Actually, guys, I'm going to answer one more. This is another good question about creatine. So let's see, 3440. So Emily R, again, love, you said, I used creatine in the past, but for whatever reason, I always feel fluffy when I take it. Yep. I don't know how else to describe it. No, that's exactly right. It is. It makes you feel fluffy. Yeah. I know you do gain a little because of all the water. Yep. Which is why you feel fluffy. But at what point will it go away? I feel sluggish and I'm not good, frumpy, I guess you could say, and fairly discouraged because everything I've ever read is you need creatine. Can anyone explain this, or this is normal? I would love to explain this. We have some clients take creatine. I typically don't advise it. It's great. Creatine does work. It helps you build muscle. It's a beautiful thing, right? But this always happens. You feel really frumpy. The results are now different. You're gaining weight. You're just not feeling good. And so for our clients, it's just not worth it. You don't need creatine to build beautiful muscle mass. We have ladies literally from their 20s to their 70s, age range wise, and they all build muscle. Why? Because their program design is designed to support their goals and build muscles and strong tendons, bones, joints, ligaments, right? All of that. So you don't need it. And so in my opinion, and how I feel for clients is like, is creatine worth feeling sluggish, not good, frumpy? I think she said, yeah, tired, sluggish, fluffy. No, I don't personally think it is. It's a supplement, right? If the supplement's making you feel like crap, I don't personally think it's worth it. So that's my 2 cents. If you have questions about that, I'd love to hear. But for some women, it works. We have one gal, she's jacked, extremely low body fat, super shredded. She takes creatine. I think she does it 2 or 3 times per week. Great, it works for her. She has like no body fat, right? So she doesn't feel that way. For most of us, I don't think it's worth it. I took it. I gained a lot of muscle. I'll never take it again for the rest of my life. I was like, I took more than I thought I was because it was also in my pre-workout, and I felt huge. I mean, huge. And it took like 3 years probably to come back down from that muscle. It was wild. So no, I'll never take it again. Oh, okay, cool. Ladies, I hope this was really helpful. I know sometimes things are blunt, but I hope you feel encouraged, and cared for and loved, because you're doing amazing. Like, you're here showing up. I'm just here to help you stay on track, right? Help you be on the right track, to give you the right guidance so you can just accomplish your goals in the fastest time possible, in the healthiest way possible, and in a way that you can sustain for the rest of your life, right? Be fit and healthy for the rest of your life. That's what we all want. I assume that's what we all want. Okay, great. Have a great day, ladies. Thanks so much for being here. Let us know if there's anything we can do for you. We have loads of free resources we're happy to send you. Always feel free to send me a direct message on Facebook. I'm here to chat. We love you guys, and we're just so grateful for you. So I hope you have a great day. Talk to you later.